Welcome to The Bright Side of 50, the podcast that celebrates life, wisdom, and the vibrant journey that can be ours when we embrace the second half of life. I am your host, Carla Palmer. Together, we will explore the stories, memorable experiences, and the teachable moments that make life after 50 truly incredible. Now, let's get into today's topic, shall we? Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to another episode of The Bright Side of 50 with your host, Carla Palmer. I am, as always, grateful that you are here listening to another episode with me. I hope you are enjoying living and being on the bright side of 50 or trying to get there. If you're not quite there yet, we're all a work in progress. But today I wanted to do this episode. It's quite random, but I had to do it while the studio was already set up because I just finished another episode. Listen, I want to talk about just being intentional about your movement. And I want to talk about that as it relates to being intentional about where you are positioning yourself and with whom. So last year in, I believe it was October, I saw a random post by someone I follow. Her name is Cashel Kelly. I followed Cashel Kelly on Instagram. She's a coach. She talks about emotional intelligence. She has this thing called the Strong Friends Society that she just launched for women who are strong women in their communities, in their families, amongst their friends, who oftentimes no one checks for them. And she wanted to do this thing where we all got together and, you know, had an opportunity, a safe space to really pour into each other. And it was a wonderful experience. I ended up going to this event. I bought a ticket by myself. I purchased a ticket to go to Houston. This is where the event was taking place. So I went to Houston, and then I got an Airbnb for a couple of days, or was it? No, an Airbnb for one day. And then I went to this event. I didn't know anybody at the event. The only person that I knew was Cashel from Instagram. She knew that I was coming, and she gave me the most beautiful welcome. When I got there, somebody was waiting there to take my bags because I checked out of the Airbnb that morning, and I gave the bags to the person at the door who was like, "Oh, we're expecting you." It was such a beautiful reception and further confirmation that I had made the right decision to come to this conference to hear from Cashel and some of the women on the panel that were speaking, Ivy McGregor being one of the powerful women who were speaking. And it was just a nice, warm welcome. So I went, and I was happened to be seated at the table with two amazing women. The table was full of amazing women, but two that I connected with on a deeper level. And after the event was great. After the event, I was seated next to this woman who owns a hair salon, but she's from Houston, and she knew a lot about like where to go around town to have an amazing experience. So I was seated next to Nadia, and then Stephanie was seated across from Nadia and I. But after the event, Nadia offered, so sweet, Nadia offered to take me to the airport. But prior to taking me to the airport, she wanted me to be able to attend the after party, a gathering at a local bar that Cashel had reserved an area for some of the people who attended the event. And so she wanted me to be able to go to that. She wanted me to see Houston really, really quickly. And I think I was leaving like 2.5 hours after the event. Or 2.5 to 3 hours after the event. She wanted me to see some of Houston. And I didn't know this lady, but I felt like a connection to her. I was like, oh, this is like a soul sister right here. Definitely going to say yes. Take her up on this opportunity. And then Stephanie ended up meeting us over at the spot. So we had this great time at the spot. We got some drinks, and then we went to 2 other spots, literally like hopping around. So I could see some of the happening spots in Houston. And then they drove me to the airport, and we said our goodbyes. I was super grateful and super excited about meeting them and looking forward to continuing to build a relationship with them, even though they live in a whole other state. So Stephanie ends up coming to Los Angeles after, I think it was probably like three or 4 weeks, she ended up coming to Los Angeles, and she connected with me to let me know that she was here for this big hike that she comes to do with, I forget the lady's name, but she does this group hike, and she comes to LA to do these hikes. She wanted to get together for dinner. So at dinner, I was able to meet Aurelia, who is another really, really lovely lady who is, close in the age to me, and another soul sister. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see when you're intentional and you are, intentional about where you're placing yourself, you're going to eventually start to meet more women that, you can bring into your circle of friends with quality experiences. Okay. So she and I connected, and I was like, oh, I got to keep in touch with her. She ends up coming back to LA after that dinner, and then she and I got together and we went to go and have coffee. That coffee date ended up being like 2 hours or more together, just talking about life, talking about goals, talking about dreams. And interestingly enough, Stephanie at dinner that day, when she came to LA and I got to meet Stephanie and I got to meet Aurelia, Stephanie told Aurelia and I about a book called We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. Rachel Rodgers is founder of Hello 7, meaning, 7 figures. And she's a Black woman. She's an attorney, and she is a business strategist and a coach. And she does retreats, these beautiful things to help build wealth, right? So Stephanie was like, have you read the book? And I said, no, I haven't read the book. I do know who Rachel Rodgers is. Haven't read the book. And she was like, you've got to get the book. You have to get this book. And I was like, all right, it sounds like a plan. Now, I was moving a little slowly after the dinner, some couple weeks had passed or whatever. And then my other friend, Shauna, I know you guys know Shauna. I talk about Shauna all the time. That is like, I don't know how we weren't born in the same family. Like, seriously, sister. She says to me, hey, have you heard this book called We Should All Be Millionaires? I'm like, okay, this is the second time I've heard about this We Should All Be Millionaires book. She said, you can listen to it on Spotify. If you have Spotify Premium, it's on Spotify Premium. I was like, okay, I'll listen to it. So I started listening to the book, and I'm like, oh, this is a powerful message that this book is bringing. It's about abundance. It's about not living in lack and really having more of a money mindset over a broke mindset, and operating in a way that is in the money mindset framework. And it gives you the framework, gives you an example, many examples of how to live life with a millionaire mindset, right? And also gives you strategies to increase your income, to be financially empowered, all of those things that are going to help you to evolve and elevate to this millionaire status eventually. Also helps you to tap into your superpowers, your skills and strengths that you might be able to share with other people, and use those skills and strengths in order to share these things with other people and make money, even passive income doing it. So I started listening to this book, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And then it was time for me to go to Oklahoma. You guys know my mom got married, 75 years old. She got married for the second time. My dad passed away in 2016. She found love in 2023, got married in 2023. And I was on my way to this event, right, which was in Tulsa. So I ended up going to the bookstore to actually buy a hard copy, a paperback copy of the book. I wanted a hard copy, but they didn't have any. But I got the paperback copy because I wanted to have this book in my possession, because it's really like a book that you need to have so that you can highlight, so that you can reference, like all of those things that you can't really do when you listen to something on Spotify. So I wanted to have the book. So I get to Tulsa. Shauna ends up coming to Tulsa a couple of days after me. Guess what else? She has the book too. So Shauna got the book as well. So you've got all these people who are not all connected talking about this book, because we are of similar goals and mindsets and desires to live a life that is full, a life of wealth, whatever wealth looks like to you, because you get to define that. Social media doesn't get to define that for you. Whether it's your number of what wealth means to you or your quality of life, You get to determine what that is. But we both had this book. It was amazing. And we were both really excited to have it in our possession. She ended up being able to get the hard copy, the hardback, but I still picked up the copy of it, and I was happy to have it. I'm almost done with it. I'm probably like halfway through. But I'm excited to have this. So I get back from the trip, and I have a package on my door. And I open up the package on my door, and in that package is a hard copy of We Should All Be Millionaires. And guess who it's from? It's from Stephanie. It's from Stephanie. This was her gift to me for Christmas, along with this beautiful card. Sweetest Carla, I'm grateful to God for allowing our paths to cross. You're a beautiful gem with a kind soul and refreshing spirit. Looking forward to connecting more in 2024. Y'all cannot tell me, when you move with intention and when you say to yourself, I only want to be surrounded with beautiful, brilliant sisters, women who want the best out of life, who want to operate in joy, who want to be millionaires. I want to be a millionaire, and I know what that looks like for me. No need to share it, on this particular episode, but I will at some point share with you what that looks like for me. But we're all of the same, drive and goals and what we want to do and what we want to experience. And we want to experience these beautiful things with each other. I wouldn't have met Stephanie had I not gone to that conference that Cashel Kelly had that one day, the Strong Friends Society conference brunch. Wouldn't have met Stephanie there. I wouldn't know Aurelia if it wasn't for Stephanie, and Stephanie coming to LA and following up like she said she would when she came to LA, and then us getting together for dinner, and then me connecting with Aurelia, and then taking Aurelia's information, and then Aurelia and I connecting outside of that experience, connecting on the side on our own. We have some common interest. She also works with foster youth like I do. I'm telling you, it's just so beautiful when you move with intention and you are very intentional and particular about who you are allowing into your circle of influence, into your friend group. When you're intentional about that and you say no to the foolishness and no to the toxicity, your life can be so enriched by allowing yourself to be open to creating new friendships with people who are of like-minded, thoughts and desires. All right. So I wanted to do this episode just so I could share that with you and give you some things to think about, process through. It's 2024. The new year, new me is up there high on your list right now because there's a new year that we're starting right now. And I want you to move with intention. I want you to think about who you're allowing in your circle of friends, and are they going to allow you to grow and evolve on the bright side of 50, the right side of 50, the joyful, peaceful, abundant side of 50? Are they going to be there with you doing that? All right. I hope this was helpful. I hope you understood where I was going with this. I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about you. I'm excited about us. I'm excited about the Bright Side of 50 with Carla Palmer podcast. God is good. God is good, and I'm going to allow him to continue to be good and great in my life. And I hope that you will do the same. I hope that you are sharing out the podcast. I hope, first of all, that you have turned on your notifications and the follow button here on YouTube or on Spotify or on Apple. And I hope that you are sharing it with other women in their 50s who you want to see living on the bright side of 50, and you want to bring them into our community because we all need each other and we can all grow and learn from each other. Clearly, I got 2 books. I got 2 of these bad boys, 2 of them, because I've got so many incredible women who are operating with that same mindset. So I love you guys, and I will see you again on the next episode of The Bright Side of 50 with Carla Palmer. Guys, take care. Love you. See you later. And talk to you soon.